Everybody, good morning, everybody. Every day we rise is a great day to be alive, and welcome to the Seven Cities Forums of Hampton Roads presents Portsmouth Coffee Talks morning show. I'm James Slim Overton, and I'm here with the co-host, Leah Drake Stitt and Thomas the Colonel Chapman. Good morning, co-hosts.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yes.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know about bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but we're here.
You're
Okay.
here. That's
I
that's the
agree.
important thing. That's the important thing.
It's
And
early
we're here with a special guest, a Portsmouth resident and Truxton resident, and her name is Natalie Baker. And of course, I mentioned she went to IC Norcom, attended Keys Business College, and has a BS in interdisciplinary studies slash social work from the Norfolk State University.
Yeah,
Yes.
behold that green and gold.
Behold that green
Behold.
and gold.
Behold that green and gold.
She's
Yes.
beholding that green and gold all the way in Atlanta. She lives in
Uh-huh.
Atlanta now. So, and she's also taking that maroon and gray all the way to Atlanta, the
Yes.
Greyhounds. But there's a retired behavior specialist and medical assistant and now certified senior group fitness instructor. And go way back with her as far as being a Truxton resident, but years ago when I got my first diagnosis that I had some heart issues. She was working for Dr. Francis, who's a cardiologist. And we were talking the other day. I told him when I first got that initial, he said my heart was enlarged. And I got that. He said, well, we're going to give you some medication that might help you. And me at the time, being a hard-headed, didn't do everything he told me to do. And, eventually, things got worse. But I appreciated that first diagnosis. And she was working for him then. And but anyway, everything eventually turned out all right. Dr. Francis, amazing doctor,
Yes.
cardiologist, African American, and in this area, you don't see a lot, but it's a few. But anyway, our guest is here, and Natalie, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for being a part of Portsmouth Coffee Talks morning show and all the way from Atlanta. And we like to feature Portsmouth people who have gone on and done other things. And, now you're in the TV and movie world, but it was a journey to get there.
Yes, it was.
Like I said, you had some other jobs when you were working for Dr. Francis, did that for about 9 years and a lot of other things. And we'll talk about that journey to get you there. But let's talk about where it started.
Oh,
Where did it start?
Where
Amen.
did it start?
Amen.
That
it
acting
started
bug.
at Truxton Elementary
Yes, indeed.
with Miss Hattie B. Russell.
Mhm.
My very first performance, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was walking in the Winter Wonderland. I had a parasol on the right shoulder, and the step was a heel touch, right, left. I don't know why it's so vivid. It's like I can see the cafeteria every time I think of it. And and that was the first taste of performing. And then after that, the very next thing I really remember that gave me the bug was with Mount Carmel. Evelina Long, the professor,
Yes.
she was a professor at
Mhm.
Norfolk State, and she cast me as Martha in Walking in the Footsteps of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be Mary. I said Mary had more lines. I wanted that. And because I just wanted to be a star. I knew early on, and I forgot to say that my very first desire came from seeing Shirley Temple on
Mhm.
TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I said, she can't sing all that good. I can sing better than her.
Uh-huh.
And I knew I was special, but I didn't really understand it. But I just knew I liked entertaining, singing, and dancing. But when I got to Martha at 12 with Evelina, and she explained to me that my personality and my temperament and my energy when it came to performing was Martha and not Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And once I grabbed a hold to that, it was full steam ahead, and everything that I could get in, I was in, and everything. I did most of my public speaking on spoken word or oratory poems and things like that. That's where it all started.
Wow, amazing story to start that young, and that's kind of typical of a lot of people in the acting world, that they get that bug early on in life. And you mentioned Truxton. I think all of us that went to Truxton, at every grade we had to participate in a play every
You
year.
had to perform.
Yeah,
Yes, you
and
did.
Yes.
that bug didn't catch me, but it was a few people that did that. That was the beginning of
Mhm.
them, and it just gave us opportunities to, just look at different things
Mhm.
and what might be. And you mentioned Shirley Temple. At that time, it was no other people that looked like us that we
None.
could sort of, follow. But Shirley
Uh-huh.
Temple was out there. But you took that and said, well, I can do that.
Mhm.
So that continued there. So,
So,
oh,
so,
Leah, look
so
like
Natalie, were you ever engaged in any theatrics at Norcom? Because there was a time we had a very wonderful theatrical program at Norcom. Did you ever engage in any of the plays that they had there? You were too young
Well,
for the Robert Wynne Jackson stage, so
I do remember Robert Wynn when I got to Norfolk State, but at Norcom, I was so busy running track, in
yeah.
the band,
Mm-hmm.
softball, intramural basketball, modern dance. So I really
Yeah, you didn't
didn't,
have yeah, didn't have
I
the
really
time
didn't
to
do it. I
yeah.
was outside in the,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Which our
So
parents made us do. Go outside. Do things
exactly.
outside.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'll ask you like I asked one of our past guests that were very active at Norcom doing all these things. When did you go to class?
I never missed class. I think I cut class one day in 4 years, because for me being an only child, raised as an only child, school was where I saw people, because
Mhm.
I was latchkey, and you couldn't open the door for nobody. And I going to church and going to school was the only places I was really able to play and talk to other people. So I loved school. I didn't want to
Mhm.
miss. I did
Mhm.
not.
Would you say being involved in all those different things coming up help you in acting? Because a lot of times when you're acting, you have to play a part and you have to put yourself in that person. So being active in a lot of different activities, would that help you in the acting field?
Well, not so much the activities, but what I've learned is that art imitates life,
Mhm.
and there is God designs our lives. He orchestrates everything before we're born. Y'all know that. But
Mhm.
as an actress, I've learned that he has placed things in my life strategically, whether it was
Mhm.
painful or not.
Exactly.
It's a situation where I can go back and grab those emotions
Mm.
and substitute those emotions and add them to my scene, and try to remember how I dealt with that situation, and then take that to my character as I build her.
Oh,
And
okay.
Natalie, let me tell you, honey, your eyes are your windows to your soul, honey. Those eyes and those
Yes.
eye expressions are unbelievable, And I watched the one where the kids were playing ball and you run out there. I thought about some of the people in our community who
Yes.
you didn't throw that ball into their yard because you won't gonna get that ball back. And I said, but then you sit there and those eyes, girl. And I sat there Christmas and I said, I never watch these Lifetimes, and I'm always on MSNBC, I'm always watching the news.
Mhm.
And somebody told me, so you need to take a break from the news and you need to really just relax. And I was watching the show and I said, that looks like Natalie Baker. I said, no. And I jumped up and I shouted and I called Samara. I said, Samara, Natalie's on TV. She said, I forgot to tell you. And I mean, just watching your facial expressions, and you did such an amazing job. I was
Thank
just
you.
so pleased to be able to say that I know you. I know
Thank
you.
you.
You're a Truxton girl, a Norcomite.
Thank you.
Uh, so it made me go back and watch some of your other things as well. So I tell you, you've done well. You make us proud. You really make us proud.
You mentioned my eyes, growing up, they always tease me about my eyes
Uh-huh.
because they said, why are you always rolling your eyes? And I didn't even know I was rolling them. But what I realized is I stay so engaged in whatever was going on in the scene or in my conversations. I really internalize it. I'm really listening. So
Mhm.
when I react, it's a genuine reaction
Genuine
because
reaction. Yes.
I'm like, what did you say? What did they do? But I found out later as I was taking classes that when you are really engaged in the scene with your scene partner, when they go to edit the movie, they have a lot of other options.
Mhm.
Whereas they wouldn't have those options if the scene partners are not reacting. It would just
Mhm.
be flat and just focused on the person speaking. But because I stay engaged in the scene, it has earned me so many little spots in movies where I'm not even saying anything.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because in Lawfully Yours with Mary Lou Henner, we taped that in Virginia,
Uh-huh.
the Eastern Shore and Suffolk. And I was in 5 scenes where I said not one word. All they wanted was my reaction
Uh-huh.
in the church.
Uh-huh.
And I think that was God's way of helping me really understand that you don't have to be speaking to act.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that church choir. Oh my Lord.
And you know, I auditioned for that movie as a lead.
Uh-huh.
Those 3 church ladies. I
Yes.
auditioned for one of those roles, but I didn't look old enough
Uh-huh.
because they wanted authentically old.
Yeah.
And so then I came back as an extra,
Uh-huh.
and I ended up as a feature, as the
Uh-huh.
choir director. So God has a way.
Oh, he works it out for you every
Oh, he
time.
works it out.
Every
I was
time he works
supposed
it
to
out for
be
you.
in that movie. I was
Uh-huh.
supposed
Uh-huh.
to be in that movie.
And that I was trying to remember, were
Yes.
you a part of when we what for colored girls here? When Norcom, when we had yes, I was trying to go back to look to see. I said I remember Natalie being in there, but I don't want to say that you were in there and you weren't in there. But
Yeah.
Norcom did a fundraiser for
Yes.
colored girls only. And you were in that play when we brought it to Norcom High School.
Yes. Yes. Because I was the one that talked to you.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That's what
And
I was
presented the proposal. Yes.
so many things going on, and I'm trying to put things in order. I said, I know Natalie was a part. You
Yes.
brought that to us, and
Yes.
it was a smashing success.
Yes, it was.
It was a
Yes, it
smashing.
was.
You had a few church ladies who got a little offended by some of the language and the
But
stories, but
that was the
it was
story.
life.
That
But
was
that's
It's
the
life.
story.
the
It's
story.
life.
And that's our life. Yes. That's our life.
It's
Yes.
life. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't go there looking for Leave It to Beaver,
How about that? That's for sure. Yeah, but it was a success. It was a sellout performance, and we're
Yes.
thankful for that.
It was an honor. It was an
Uh-huh.
honor. But Color Girls was one of my favorite plays to perform. I did it 3 times. I was purple, orange, and blue.
Uh-huh.
So I was exposed to that particular play a lot, and it's a classic, and it was an honor to be in it all
Hmm.
3 times. So yes, I love
Yes,
it.
yes. That is really tremendous. And we're just looking for greater things that you're doing. I mean, it made me go back because I didn't realize how many shows you had been a part of until I went back to look to see. And those of you who out there in Facebook land, just Google her name, and the reel comes up with all of the different shows she's been in. And you can see those and go back and watch them. And you will be thrilled. And I'm telling you another thing. When I looked at you again and some of your expressions, I saw Ruth Brown. I saw Ruth Brown. I said, oh my God, Ruth Brown would be excited to see you on stage and to see you in these plays. And I could see some of her mannerisms in you. And I know it's not anything that you're young, you haven't seen a lot of Ruth. But anyway,
True.
but Ruth Brown, when I think about the shows that she did, and I watch you and I said, oh my God, Natalie has really I'm telling you, she would truly be proud. She would be
Thank you.
truly proud of what you do. That's for
I
sure.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we need you to come back home and talk to our drama teacher and share some lessons with our drama teacher
Yeah.
and some things that they can do, you know? So.
Yeah, one of the things that really touches me now is to see young people really diving in so much earlier. I see them getting degrees in it. And that, to me, when I was growing up, that was like, you don't get no degree in acting. You get a degree, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, so you don't get no degree in acting and singing. And I was like, but this was the path God chose for me. And I wouldn't change it. I thought I needed a degree in it, but all of the technical terms that I run into, most of them, I mean, I say all, most of the technical terms and techniques that I run into on set or on stage, God has already organically given it to me. And it just,
Yeah, take your time.
Take your time, sweetheart.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's all him.
Yeah.
It's all him, Nat. It's all
what he
him.
has for you is
He
for
has
you.
for you. Amen.
I don't care. I don't care how rough it may be. I don't care how many people tell you no. I don't care how many people walk away from you as you still believe in yourself. I don't care. But if he got that for you, if he has, I don't care if you get sick, near death, whatever it is, if he has it for you in his appointed time, not our time, his appointed time.
And we get so impatient because we want it now. We want it this instant. And it's not meant to be.
I'm so glad I didn't get this success when I was young.
Yes, yes.
I wouldn't have known what to do with it.
So wouldn't have known how to handle it, huh?
I would have been like Eddie in 5 Heartbeats standing at the fence. Because I would have probably done anything with anybody to get where I wanted to go.
Exactly.
Because I didn't have the spiritual balance in my life or the foundation or the mindset to stray away from bad. I would have just saw the lights and the stars.
Exactly.
And I would have been running after it. So busy trying to see that. No, I'm so thankful that it didn't happen that way. Yeah.
But what made you step out in faith and move from little old Portsmouth to Atlanta? I know that had to be a faith walk there.
I don't tell many people, but it's going to be out now. I had a dream. And God showed me a dream so plain. And this was like the second time I had had a dream that was like so crystal clear. He showed me Tyler Perry and I sitting down having a conversation like I'm talking with you guys. And it took me years to realize that he was showing me something like he had shown me before. And I said, okay, my lease was up in 2016. And in 2015, I started looking for places to live here in Atlanta. And I just said, okay, God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I got so close to death in 2010. And they said I only had less than 12 months to live. They didn't expect me to live.
Wow.
And a lot of people didn't know that. And when I asked God to either heal me or kill me, and I promised him if he didn't kill me, I would do everything that he told me to do to the best of my ability. So when he showed me that dream, I knew that was him telling me to leave and step out. So I packed a minivan. What didn't fit in the minivan, I either donated it or set it on the curb, and I came on. And it took me, I stayed with a cousin for about 3 months, February, March, April. And the 1st of May, I got my own place. And I was like, wow, I ain't had no furniture, but I had my place. I had a roof, I had heat. And I was good. I could eat. I had somewhere to lay my head, and I was good. And I said, God, I trust you. and I would take this journey. And it was just that, a faith journey. But faith without works is dead.
It is dead.
And works means you do what you need to do. It don't just mean physically working in the field. It means working for your craft or whatever he has given you to do. It means doing the studying, the researching, the sacrificing, whatever it takes. But you have to do the work for him to see that you're committed to it. And he will honor that work. And then the rest is whatever he wants it to be.
Exactly. Well, you definitely stepped out on faith. You definitely took that move that you needed to make. And have you met Tyler yet? That's what I need to know.
No, not personally, but I have. I've been auditioning since 2016, since I got here. And I've heard stories. People have auditioned for 5 to 10 years for a particular show. And it took them that long to get selected. But what Tyler's casting director, her name is Raven Drummond, she always says that if we keep coming back to you, we're looking for the role that fits you perfectly. And we like what you do, but we just keep auditioning you till we find the role that's perfect for you. So matter of fact, I'm working on one right now. So yeah, it's God's timing and everything. So I've learned to accept that and appreciate it. Yes.
That's right.
Colonel, go ahead and get in there. I know you've been trying to get in there.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I need to just do the disclaimer and get some housekeeping done, because Leah mentioned Facebook. And so the views stated on the program are those of the host and guests and no one else. So that'll keep us off the Facebook page. And I'd also make a plea out to those listening on Electron Lands and Facebook and everywhere, and YouTube and everything. If you like the diversity of topics that we have shown on this program and the content that we show on this program, you won't see it anywhere across the wide spectrum of media out there. And so if you'd like to send an honorarium or donation, you can send it to Portsmouth Coffee Talk, P.O. Box 7664, Portsmouth, Virginia 23707. And we really appreciate it, because 100% of what you send to us, it goes back into the show. And we implore that you send that so we can keep it putting on this program and also expanding. And so we also have the Cash App and other ways of making donation, and Slim will tell you about that.
Yeah, the Cash App is PCT 1220, PCT 1220, and the $ in front of it. And if you want to do Zelle, you can send the Zelle to portsmouthcoffeetalk@yahoo.com. Thank you.
Yes. So the other thing, Natalie, you talked about how Tyler Perry vets their actors or an actress for the of the various programs. It reminds me of what Motown did when they were vetting and putting out, before they let you have a record to put out to the world. And so that assembly line kind of Ford kind of thing, looking for the perfect shot. Yeah, Motown, that's what it just reminds me of. So I just had to get that. But for a young person come out, Natalie, you also talked about getting a degree, and did you have to have a degree? You see a lot of folks back in the day, and actually now, saying, I got to go to New York, or I got to go to LA to make it. And in some cases for us to go down to Atlanta and see if I can strike it with Tyler or whatever, and to some of the film crew. So if you were coming up today and you were they rolled back the clock and they gave you some more time, and what would you tell this young folk to do if they want to follow the path?
First of all,
I know there's a lot in there.
There's a excuse me, there is the Governor's School for the Arts in Norfolk, which I did not know existed until later on in life. I would tell them and their parents, if the kid is really that talented and really has that dream, I would tell them to prepare and go to the governor's school.
Mm-hmm.
They're the hoorah
The
players.
ride players. Hugh Copeland. Hugh Copeland.
Yes, Hugh Copeland taught me, Hugh Copeland and Sylvia Hudson
Mm-hmm.
and Sharon Davison Cook. She just retired from Booker T. Washington.
Uh-huh.
Hugh Copeland offers so many
He
classes,
does.
and I learned so much with Hugh and those other ladies I named that I still use.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia, she has her own Hudson Talent Agency. She's in Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
She was my very first agent. She taught me film and TV. Sharon Cook from Booker T, she taught me how to really delve into stage. She helped me be as loud and as boisterous as I am. She had me play the mother of one of the civil rights organizers, which made me be very soft,
Mm-hmm.
very calm. And that's not me. But she transformed me
Mm-hmm.
with her directing skills. So there are a lot of people. There's ODU has a beautiful program. And Brittany Harris, she just won an award for Best Actress. She's over there instructing.
Mm-hmm.
TRS Productions is a production company. The lady that runs it, Tanya Rollins, she graduated from Governor's School and ODU. And so she turned around and put it back into the kids. She
Mhm.
teaches kids. So there are a lot of avenues in Hampton Roads that we are not aware of. And a lot of them look like us.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Hugh. And
Mhm.
Hugh is so welcoming to everyone.
Everyone.
And
Everyone.
Hugh, the
Yes.
Hoorah Players is a family theater
Mm-hmm.
group that welcomes the whole family. So you don't have to leave your kids home or the mama stay home.
Mm-hmm.
It's something for the whole family.
Everybody can participate.
Everybody,
Everybody.
and they do shows to represent every culture.
Exactly.
So I would say delve into the Hoorah Players, TRS Productions, Governor School for the Arts, and create your own content. These kids are now creating their own stuff on TikTok and all
TikTok,
of that.
yes. Mm-hmm.
But to get the foundation, seek the educational route.
Mm-hmm.
There are all kinds of books and online courses, but we have a lot right there in Hampton Roads that I wish I had known about at an earlier age. But I understand now that my path was my path.
Mm-hmm.
And I met those people when I met them. And now I can share their names because I know what type of reputation, I know what type of skills and knowledge they bring to the table. And I'm proud to say those people's names as places where you can go and get direction.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie, before we go on and co-host, let's make the transition from the radio to Facebook Live. Want to thank all the viewers on WGPL 1350 AM for joining us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you next Monday morning at 6:30 AM. We appreciate you. Natalie, you mentioned about the the local things that people can get into here, and a lot of the big stars we see now, Samuel Jackson, Denzel Washington, and most of them, when you get in an interview with them, they'll tell you they started at theater. And the kids doing the TikTok now and getting all the views now. But how important is it for them to experience theater? Because it seems like all the great stars, that's where they get their acting chops, where everything is live and there's no stop and make a mistake. You have to sort of wing it sometime if you forget your line. So is that the best teaching arena for someone that really wants to serious about acting?
I'm not going to say it's the best and the only, but I will say this, it's a great asset. When I moved here, I came to take master classes with Greg Allen Williams from Remember the Titans and Baywatch. And I auditioned for him on Saturday, February the 6th, 2016. In less than a month, they offered me the job of teaching intermediate classes, which was building characters using August Wilson's work. Almost everybody in that class has gone on to appear on TV. And theater forces you to delve right in. You've got to, there's no camera to stop and redo. You got to know it and you got to keep going. You got to know exactly where. Theater helps you understand how you place yourself so everybody can see you. That translates to TV because you have to be in the frame, just like we're in this frame. But without theater, I wouldn't know that blocking was important. You use blocking in TV. It's the same thing. So yes, theater correlates right to acting on TV and film. Now, the transition to TV and film can be difficult because TV and film, you always have a microphone and you can talk very soft. And they say, if you think it, the camera will see it. But in theater, you got everybody in the back row got to hear you. They got to see you. But you got to move and they got to see you. So it is a big transition, but one without the other, I think they intertwine so perfectly. Theater, you have to be all in. And because you don't get TV and film, you do one piece, then you go back and do another piece, and it doesn't run like you see it in the movie. You might take the first scene one day and 3 weeks later, the other scene. But theater,
Continuous.
nonstop. And if the show is running for a month, every time you get on stage for a month, you got to do the same thing. So I love theater. I still do theater. But once you transition, it can be difficult to go back because you have to, your performance has to be so refined for TV. So it took me a minute to come out of theater and regroup to learn how to audition for film and TV. However, certain shows will still need the energy that you use in theater, depending on the type of show and the writer and the director, because certain people do certain things. So Tyler, theater still really works with Tyler because the way he performs, because he comes from theater.
Yes.
But as you can see now, his shows are becoming more refined.
Yes, yes. Because at first his shows looked like you were at the theater as opposed to a movie set. So
Exactly.
But Natalie, if I'm not mistaken, you have a one-woman show?
Yeah.
Can you share some information on that for us, please?
Okay.
Because you're going to come here. You're going to come home. You're going to come home and bless the Alumni Association. Am I correct?
That is my dream. It has been my dream. My friend, Eureka Lewis, look her up. She has written for Paula Washington, Denzel's wife, Felicia Rashad. She's in New York, and she's a very acclaimed writer, originally from Detroit. She's an outstanding actress. She wrote me a show. The Holy Spirit gave her a show for me. I didn't ask for it. It's 4 characters. I play 4 characters. And they're all intertwined together.
I can imagine.
And
4 characters?
4 characters. 4.
4.
Oh, just me.
Just
It's
you.
not simple, is it? No, it's not simple.
But what she has done is created an avenue to address a lot of issues that we as women deal with. And I know it's ordained by the Holy Spirit because almost every situation in that play, in that show, touches me personally. And so she is just a genius. I'm just so excited. And we wanted to do it in Virginia first because we met in Virginia. So, and she was actually with me No, she wasn't in the production that we did at Norcom, but
Mhm.
it's just a beautiful experience. And the way she designed it is after the performance, there's a question and answer period to
Mm.
address those issues that have been brought up in the show.
Mhm. Which is good, which is good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we will be talking.
Yes.
We will be talking.
It is hilarious. It is
But
hilarious.
if you are involved, Natalie, I'm sure it is hilarious. Do you
But
hear me?
you will cry though. You will
Oh,
cry
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, this is our 110th year, so
Yes.
we have to have some major things going on. So I'm just looking forward to sitting down and chatting with you and seeing how we can make this happen, you know?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I think what it'll do, I think it'll encourage women and girls, and it will open the eyes of men as to some of the things that women actually deal with.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
it'll do it in a comical way, but they'll be like, oh,
mhm,
I
mhm.
didn't know my wife might be thinking like that.
Uh-huh, mhm.
And so it'll really touch, it's something for everybody
I was
in
gonna
it.
say it will engage the audience, not only of women, but of men. Is it for children?
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no profanity in it whatsoever. None.
So we won't have any church ladies walking out this time.
No. Oh, no. Mm-mm. No, they shouldn't be walking out. No.
Yes,
Mm-mm.
well, that's good. That's great, Natalie. That's great.
Yeah,
Just
it's
looking
called the
forward to it.
Jagged Rose. Jagged
Okay,
Rose. Jagged
okay.
Rose. And you know how
Oh,
pretty a rose can be on the
oh
outside.
yes, oh yes, yes, yes.
And sometimes you have to pull those torn petals off.
Exactly,
But once you get inside, there's that beautiful, tight, beautiful bud that's in there.
exactly.
And sometimes we forget that's inside because
Uh-huh,
that rose, we want to throw the rose out as soon as it get real crusty around the edges.
uh-huh.
Mm-mm.
So hold on to it.
Hold
Hold on,
on.
hold
Well,
on.
Hold on.
Stanley, I'm gonna take you back. You mentioned the Alumni Association. I'm gonna take you back to 1978. And I think that was a good year for you. Oh, Lord have mercy. So I believe that was the year you walked walked off the stage at Dorcom High School.
Yes.
And, one of your classmates, Antoinette Jones, told me to tell you hello.
And she's now Antoinette Chapman.
Yeah,
Chapman.
she was in my nursing class.
It's his
Yeah.
wife. His
Yes.
wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so she told me to say hello. So, but you mentioned agent. Should young folks, and when should they get an agent? And what does an agent do for you?
What an agent does is find you work. They find you work that meets your skill set. They are the liaison between you and the production company to say, I believe this person can do this. Will you give them a shot? And they pitch you to the agent, to the casting director. And it doesn't always work, but the agent has to believe in your skill set. But there are certain things you need to bring to the table. You need to bring, a headshot. You need to bring, and even if you don't have experience, if your agent believes in your skill set, they should know how to take and make you a little tape or something to show the casting directors that you can perform that particular role. No, you don't have to have an agent. For example, Cletus, the comedian,
Yes.
he doesn't have an agent. He never
Mhm.
has.
Mhm,
He's his own agent.
mhm,
But as we all know, Cletus is very intelligent.
mhm.
Cletus has a degree and his business sense is not what everybody else's is. So he's
Exactly.
his own agent.
Mhm,
I'm not that savvy. I be my agent. Let me do
Mhm.
other stuff. But you don't have to have one. But if you do, they get a certain percentage. They don't make money if you don't make money. I mean, if you don't make any, they don't make any.
mhm.
Some agents will pinhole a actor or performer into one hole. They'll say, oh, she can only do this. But a real good agent will learn everything about you and market you your whole self,
Mhm.
everything that you bring to the table. But there are websites that offer jobs, actors access. There are other websites that people that don't have an agent can go to. But I will say this, some of the bigger jobs on TV, you won't get to them without an agent, some of them.
Mhm.
Now Tyler Perry does take submissions from people that do not have agents, that do not have professional headshots, but Tyler is Tyler.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're not going to get to Dick Wolf on Law and Order like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
You're not. It's just something that you have to accept. Certain shows you have to have be SAG eligible to even get in the arena with them most of the time. So it's a process, but no, you don't have to have an agent. It does help when you move up the ladder and seek bigger roles. It does
Mhm.
help.
Natalie, how do you become a member of SAG?
You have to perform so many shows that are SAG accredited before
Mhm.
you can become eligible.
Mhm.
You can't just do, in theater, they call it, what is it, equity. You have
Equity,
to,
yeah. Mhm.
you have to do so many theater performances at a reputable regional Broadway, off-Broadway type theater, Broadway shows. You can't just do, I did a lot of, what's the guy, Ron Harris?
Ron Harris, yes.
All of those shows, shows with people like that, they give you the experience, but they don't necessarily give you the equity credit that you need to
Mhm.
be in major theater. But all of the experience is good. But to be SAG, you have to perform a certain number of hours or shows, particular shows in that are SAG accredited to become SAG eligible.
Now, I mentioned earlier Robert Wynne Jackson. You would
Mhm.
have been old enough to participate in some of his programs he did at Norfolk State. Did you ever participate in any of the plays he did at Norfolk State? He was such an accomplished actor and
Mhm.
and a producer and all of those great things. Even Horace Savage performed with him at IC Norcom High School. Horace is quite a thespian. He's really quite gifted in the theater arts. But did you ever have an opportunity to do any of those productions? I know you mentioned Ron Harris, and Wynne Jackson was just proud to Ron Harris. Did you
I
ever have a chance?
I remember Ron. I remember being in Brown Hall. Now, by
Uh-huh.
this time, I was cutting class.
Uh-huh.
But I remember being in
As you
Brown
could.
Hall on several occasions while they were rehearsing. Now, I never made it to the stage because that was Jill Hollis
Right. That was Jill
stage.
Holly. That's right. That's
But I
right.
was just so proud to be in the building.
Mhm.
I was in the building. If I wasn't doing nothing but watching, picking up trash, but I was in the building. So I was exposed to it. Vince Epps,
That's Vincent Epps. That's right.
and Jill
Mhm.
Holly.
Jill
At
Holly,
that
yes.
time, between the 12-year-old and Norfolk State, when I saw Jill and them on stage, I was like, ooh, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe
Uh-huh.
I'm not. So
Uh-huh.
I kind of pulled back a little bit because I began to doubt myself a little bit
Mhm.
because I saw how good they were.
Yes.
And I had not really begun to believe that I could make it at that point because I didn't sing like Jill. So I thought I never would have a real big chance. But God took care of that. But yes, I do remember him. I remember being in the presence of him, his greatness, his energy.
Oh,
He just made
it
theater
was
come.
unbelievable. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Natalie, you just mentioned about being intimidated, and I, I have to go to, you've been on certain TV shows like The Game
Mhm.
and other shows. You can mention all the shows that you've been on, but particularly The Game, and you going into a show like that, established show with all these established actors, and so I guess was there an intimidation factor there for you, or you just said, well, I'm an actor just like them? Because I could see them interacting with you professionally, and you were just like one of them, as far as the performance. But for you, what was it, any kind of intimidations, or were you in awe of some of those people that were there that's been in the game a long time?
When I got to Atlanta and I went to Greg Allen's school, when I opened the door and he was sitting in there and I didn't pass out, I knew then my intimidation of the actors I saw on TV was over.
Mm-hmm.
It was over. And when I performed my monologue, and when he said, "Why are you just now getting to Atlanta?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's what, don't worry, I got you. It was over. My intimidation was over.
Mm-hmm.
He told me then, he said, "Miss Baker," he talks, "Miss Baker, you have gravitas. You have gravitas, get over it. Get over it. It's gonna take some time, but when they figure out who you are, you're gonna be in. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Take your time. It's gonna take some time, but when they figure out who you are, it's gonna be all right."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So by the time I got to Tosh, Wendy Raquel, there was no. Now I was kind of like, okay, but no, I was not. I was not intimidated because I knew God had finally delivered me to where I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she told me something that propelled me to just go to another level. She said, "Sister girl," sister girl, she leaned in. She said, "Sister girl, do you know how hard it is to make one line funny?"
Uh-huh.
She said, "You a bad bee." That's all I'm gonna say. She shook her head because she had a purse on her arm. She said, "Girl, you bad." But it was the confirmation that I needed. It was the validation, the extra validation that I needed from someone that I had been, but she was on my top 5 list
Mm-hmm.
of women to perform with.
Uh-huh.
She was in my top 5. So God had prepared me for what to how to act.
Mm-hmm.
And what they say, when he brings you to it, he'll bring you through it.
Amen. Every
So
time.
he had totally prepared me for this arena. And I'm no longer starstruck.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in there with them.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I feel like I have something to offer any of them. So no, I don't feel that anymore. I was starstruck with Lou Rawls back in 1980.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Lou Rawls. I could not speak.
Who wouldn't be?
And I said, "I don't want that ever to happen to me again, Lord. Please, never again." He said, "Hello." I was like,
Hello, in that voice.
I couldn't
You'll
talk.
never find.
I said, "Never again, Lord, never again." And it hasn't. So no, I'm no longer starstruck. I feel like I'm where God has me, and I'm ready to perform with anybody.
One other thing, and you mentioned about the guy telling you what took you so long to get there.
Mhm.
And you take that intimidation factor and people give up because life happens.
Mm-hmm.
They have those dreams and they might have children or whatever happens, or horrific things happen in their life that sort of derails them from them dreams. What would you tell somebody that has that dream and striving towards it, but like I said, life happens and throws them off, but they want to stay on track, and sometimes it takes long. But look at us, all of us are seniors, and here we are doing something
You
that we
said you're
never.
what, James? You're what?
I'm a senior at
You're in the
ICU.
Colonel Seniors. Okay, I understand. No.
I'm a
I'm
senior
a
at
senior
ICU.
citizen. I say it. I'm a
Look,
senior
look,
Yeah,
look.
citizen.
I'm a senior citizens, and here we
We
are
are.
doing something that we never thought we'd be doing at this point in our lives.
Exactly.
So what would you tell someone, because you've done it. I mean, you never gave up. I'm sure it was some time you said, "Lord, I can't, let me stay the path I'm on right now." But you were persistent. And there's other people out there going that same path, but stuff
Mm-hmm.
happens, sometimes
Well,
horrific things happen.
yes, stuff happens. And once I tried to stop. I tried to stop performing, and my life was miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I was evil. I was edgy. I was unhappy, and I didn't understand why. because I wasn't doing what God meant for me to do. And Roberta Gibson from Mount Carmel, she said,
And she's
"Hoorah,
watching. She's watching right now. Roberta Carter.
she said,
Carter.
they're having auditions for The Sound of Music at Hoorah." And I went.
Mhm.
And I've been going full force ever since. I would tell them, if you know in your heart you have the dream, if you know in your heart that you trust God, you talk to God, don't give up.
Mm, mm, mm.
They're gonna always need grandmamas. They're gonna always need aunties.
Mhm.
They're gonna always need Black people.
Mhm.
They're gonna always need a female.
Mhm.
They're gonna always need a loudmouth. They're gonna always need somebody to show love. They're gonna always need somebody to put you in your place. And all of those things are all in all of us, but we just have to be given the opportunity to bring it out. We got to acknowledge that what he gives you is for you. So your role that you
Amen.
play, Leah, the way you gather people, the way you motivate people, the way you have galvanized this alumni association, that was yours to do. That was yours to do.
And timing. And
And the
timing is important.
His
Timing
timing
is important.
is perfect. Our timing is not his timing. Our ways
Exactly.
are not his ways. But we have to surrender to him and what his path is for us. Because
Mhm.
sometimes we try to take the path we want,
Mhm.
and it's not the path he designed for
Mhm.
us. And so the path that he designs for us, no matter how long it takes to get there,
Mhm.
stay on that journey.
Mhm. And even when things come and block your path, and things will block your path to deter you, to move, to make you go backwards, but stay on course as long as you know that you're doing his will and
Yes.
you're walking in the way in which he wants you to walk. And you can't let those blocks keep you from moving you to where you need to be.
He will
So,
protect you. He will close doors that need to
yes, he
be
will.
closed,
That's
and he
right.
will open doors that he wants open. But you
Exactly.
got to pay attention and you got to be connected to him. You
Exactly.
can't just walk through life haphazardly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to communicate with him,
Mm-hmm.
just like you talk to your mate.
That's right.
Once you really surrender your soul and your heart to him,
Mm-hmm.
he will take you where he wants you to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if he don't want you to get there, you won't get there.
You won't get there.
You won't get there. You'll just keep like a little hamster,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll be where he wants you to be.
Where he wants you to be. When he wants you to be there. Not a day sooner. So now we can transition then to your Be Set. I can see how this Be Set self-esteem program that you have going on. Share with us about Be Set.
He gave me Be Set years ago, building self-esteem today for life. Because as a kid, you know, kids go through a lot of trauma that they don't share.
Mm-hmm.
But as a choir director of the youth for so many years at Mount Carmel, I saw so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so overnight, I don't know why, but he gave it to me. It was like, bam.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me Building Self-Esteem Today for Life. And it's an interactive workshop whereby I do a survey to ask kids or adults, how you feel about yourself, your self-worth. What do you think about yourself? Then I take that information and I design a workshop interactive based on the answers I get from the group I'm dealing with at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I just give them ideas of how to be whole. You know, you got to work out. You got to stay connected to a higher power. You got to be open. You got to love yourself. And then you got to entertain and enjoy life. But that's how you become whole.
Mm-hmm.
And it's certain things that you can do. I give them workout techniques. I do certain exercises. I teach them how to release stress. I give the kids a checklist as to, like, you put a checklist on your refrigerator, or you can have your teacher or your auntie or your friend. I need help in this area, but it's a way for them to connect with someone else when they're feeling down, so they can get the support and the encouragement that they need. So it's like a self checklist that they can say, hey, I need this help. And you can go right to it and see what they need. And I don't do the program often, but when it presents itself, the end results are awesome. The students start feeling better about themselves. And I want to incorporate it to jobs because of the workplace, you will decrease sick time, people calling out. When you can get people to feel good about themselves. When you teach people to work out and eat healthy, all of those things will go right into a good work performance, a good job. They won't be sick. The morale will be better. Everything will be better if each individual feels good about themselves. So I took my tragedy. Well, let me back up. Rewind. God took my tragedies, my pains, and he gave me a way to talk to other people so they don't have to go through the pain that I went through.
Is this virtually, or is this in person, or is it both?
Well, when it was created, it was of course in person. But it can be done virtually, but it actually works better in person. But yes, it could be done virtually. It could be, because the interaction is still there. The thoughts are still there, whether it's like we're talking now or I'm in the room with you. You're still going to get my energy. You're still going to get the information. So it can be done virtually. It can.
Wonderful. Well,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to when you come back home, girl. We got some things we need to do, and we need you involved in those things that we are doing. So I'm just looking so forward to your coming home soon.
Listen,
Very soon. James, you were about to say something?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, Natalie, with all the things we've talked about that you're doing now, and the Colonel might like this too, and I don't know, Leah might too, but you're also a sports guru.
Yes.
Now, why you have to put me? Why you wait? Let's back up. Colonel might like this, but Leah might like this too. Go ahead, James.
Because we're a little bit more into sports than you are at this moment. Now, you might graduate a little bit more into it later.
Thank you, James.
Just by
Thank you.
being in our presence. But
Yes.
but anyway, Leah, Natalie, yeah, Sports Guru, and you have a show on Thursdays at 7. It's the same time we have our show, but in this social media world, we have to support each other, even if we, sort of at the same time. But the way it's set up, you can always watch it, later or in person. But you have this show where you talk about sport, football during the season. I see behind you, Pittsburgh is your favorite team, but you talk honestly about all the teams and the play of the past weekend of football going forward, and you really you really are detailed. Whether whoever's watching you know your sports.
Yes, sir.
So I guess that started because you mentioned earlier in the show that you were, you played basketball intramurally, you ran track and did all these different things. So sports always been a part of your interest.
Yes.
But now you sort of, with everything you're doing, you sort of add that to what you do.
Yeah, sports is a big part of my life, always has been. But when, as I started to elevate in acting, my coaches were telling us to create our own content. And I had written so many church plays and things of that nature. I didn't really want to write that. I wanted to take my energies that I was already using, because I look at ESPN every hour on the hour. I started at Norcom, loving football, because to be in the band, to get an A, you had to be quiet in uniform watching the game.
Exactly.
I said, I'm not going to be sitting here every Friday night for hours and I don't know what's happening in front of me, because I'm not going to be talking to these people. So I went to the library and I did research on all the calls, what they were and everything. And then I just fell in love with the Pittsburgh Steelers because they had a black quarterback in the 70s. But then as I got older, I just saw how sports was such a good tool for building relationships. Sports was such a good way to learn how to communicate with people and be a team player. Then my daughter got into sports. So then I became a teen mom. And then once they said create your own content, I said, I'm gonna just keep my content fun for me. And that's where I just love to know the facts, because if I want to talk, I want to know what I'm talking about. And I just enjoy sharing the energy that I get from the games with the people that want to watch. I just love it. I don't make any money off of it, but it's such a stress reliever for me. It's a real stress reliever for me. So
Well, Natalie, so that I can join the Colonel and James on Monday mornings, I'm going to have to start listening to your podcast so that I can be more aware of what's going on out there in the football world.
yes.
I will move away from MSNBC and do something else. Okay.
Well, it's called Sports Chat with Nat. Run it all together, no spaces, just like
Sports Chat with Nat.
Sports Chat with Nat. I do the headlines. I do the headlines of all of the sports. I do special interviews. I just interviewed 1964 gold medalist Mel Pender, his special interview. And during the PIT last year, I interviewed the chairman for the PIT tournament. So I do special interviews. I did Ruthie Bolton, WNBA. I did the former NFL player Josh Vaughn, who is now the chaplain for the Atlanta Falcons, but he's the nephew of one of my classmates. So I use that platform to not only share the news of sports, but also share motivational messages from the athletes, the professional athletes that I'm privy to connect to. So that's the purpose of the channel.
Well, I will start listening so I can learn. So when Colonel and James get up here on Monday mornings, I'll be more in tuned to their conversation. I tuned them out until time to come on Monday mornings, so.
Yeah, I love my
replay
replay watchers.
By that time, Leah will be watching basketball.
Oh, and I can tell you about basketball. Okay, I know about basketball. All right.
Let me slip this in. I see that a former Truxton person of ours, Barbara Spruill, is watching, and I'd like to say condolences to her and Angela for the loss of a Norcom graduate, Charles Taylor, who suddenly died Friday. And we want to just send out our condolences. He was a great IC Norcom and left IC Norcom and went to MIT. Charles Taylor was a brilliant guy and journalist here locally and other areas in the state of Virginia. And he was my next door neighbor out here in Truxton. So we'll sorely miss him, and glad I got a chance to see him in October in person at the Hampton Roads Black Media Professionals event. And we got a chance to take a picture together. I hadn't seen him in a while, but that moment is even more special to me now. So we just wanted to send the condolences out to you, Barbara, and Angela, and the rest of his family. And just had to say that. Thanks for watching, Barbara. We appreciate you.
We got another Truxton Knight on here, Jackie Griffin Knight, who's on here, who was my next door neighbor. Jackie says, great conversation. God allowed me to hear this today. Thank you, God. And it has been great conversation. So
thank you.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So Nat's gonna come back to Portsmouth. She's gonna give back to her beloved IC Norcom High School, and we're looking forward to that, Natalie. And this has really been. And James and I said last night, we said, we're gonna have to carry this conversation. Nat is gonna carry this conversation to the end, and he was truly right about that, Natalie. And I'm so blessed and so thankful to be on this journey with you and to been a part of your journey. And great Truxton person, and we just between Truxton and Norcom High School, honey, we produce some gems, don't we, honey? We really pull them out, don't we? So,
And Norfolk State. And
and Norfolk State, and Norfolk State. That's right.
and
So,
Natalie, as we wind down, I have to mention this during the homecoming, Northam's homecoming last year, all the way from Atlanta, you sent out a hey
yes,
Sherry Parker, how you doing? This Sherry Brown.
Sherry Brown.
Justin
Yes.
also. Uh you sent a video here to the area where you all did your cheers, and you found two other Narcomites in Atlanta, and I'm sure it's Narcomites all over Atlanta, but you found two other ladies, and y'all, how long did it take y'all to work on that cheer that you sent back to homecoming? Okay,
I
3
called them
minutes or
that
3
week.
times?
I called them that week. I said, guys, I'm really missing homecoming. I feel like Shoe Wally Wally. I said, let's
Yeah,
meet at
and
the
you
park.
did the old cheers, yeah.
I said, let's meet at the park. They
Uh-huh.
said, okay. And one of the ladies knew a couple of other people that I didn't have their numbers. And we called them and we said, meet at the park. And you know, everybody knows Shoe Wally Wally.
Uh-huh.
So I showed them the step right then,
Uh-huh.
and we did it.
Y'all did a great job too.
It was just our hearts were so full and we couldn't make it home for homecoming. And it was just a spare of the moment thing. And it was just from the heart because we just wanted to be a part of the homecoming any way we could. And so that's what we did. And
Yeah.
all those ladies were actually band members.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One majorette and 3 of us were flag carriers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
2 of us were cheerleaders.
Well, you made our timeline great, believe me, because we had a wonderful timeline going on during the homecoming week.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
all really enhanced that timeline, and we were thankful for that as well.
It was our pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But it also gave me an opportunity to reconnect with some classmates here.
Mm-hmm.
And again, God's timing is so perfect. I was starting to get a little homesick a little bit, and it was just perfect time
Mm-hmm.
for me to reunite with some Greyhounds. And it's regenerated and rejuvenated a friendship and a connection that we had we had it on social media, but now we are actually seeing each other in person more. And it's been uplifting to me, and I can say the same for them as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we want you to tune in on the 18th because we're going to have our ribbon cutting pep rally ceremony on the 18th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
This is the beginning of the celebration of our 110th year.
Mm.
So we're going to start it with a pep rally.
Okay.
And then we will go throughout the year having events throughout the year, with us having our grand reunion September 29th and 30th. So make sure you put those dates down. We tried to do it the week of Mr. Norcom's birthday, which is September 21st. So we're going to have it the week after his birthday. So we want you to put those dates down. And also, once again, we want to get with you to see how we can incorporate your performance into this 100th year celebration. But looking forward to it, Natalie. I'm telling you, I'm just truly blessed, you know. And
Yeah,
Samara's out of the country today, so she can't see this.
Okay.
So she would definitely see it when she's back in town on Friday.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was an honor to be here. You know, sometimes coming from where we're coming from, it's hard to dream big, but I'm so honored that God chose me to show people that it can be done. And I'm humbled. I'm just humbled. He spared my life. He gave me another chance. So whoever's listening, it's not over till he say it's over.
And it's never too late, right, Natalie?
Never too late.
Never too late.
Never too late. It's never too late to start your diet. It's never too late to start eating good. It's never too late to start learning to pray. It's never too late to start praising him. It's never too late. Never too late to stop doing what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Never too late to make a change. Never, ever.
Girl, you just don't know what an impact you have made on people's lives today. Just with that last statement there. Because so often we think, well, I'm too old, or I'm too this, or I'm too fat, or I'm too this. It's never too late to have that new beginning.
Never.
Never too late to have that new beginning.
Never.
And you have, I can see you, that self-esteem piece, you know, you've helped a lot of people today. You've helped a lot of people today, and we appreciate it. We really do.
God be the glory.
Amen. Amen.
In the famous words of my former First Lady, Alfreda Knight, to God be the glory.
And as my mother would say, hallelujah, anyhow.
Anyhow,
Anyhow.
yes, yes.
Anyhow. That's right.
And as my mother would say, shut up and listen. But in any other comments from co-host?
Colonel.
Well, I'll say, Natalie, thank you for getting up this morning and impacting and starting and telling the world your journey. And it's been an inspiration. And I know you're down in Atlanta, and I love Atlanta myself. I lived there a couple years when I went to graduate school at Georgia State, and so I know how hard it is. But you come on back down here for the Alumni Association doing that celebration, and then we look forward to seeing you. But in the meantime, stay down there and keep representing on the big screen and everything.
Thank you. I will. Thank you.
And Natalie, we're going to get Colonel a Norcom shirt, because although he graduated from Western Branch, he's married to a great Norcomite, okay? And he is an associate member of the IC Norcom Alumni Association. So we
Okay.
thank him for his support as well. So Colonel, we're going to get you a shirt. So the next time we have a Norcom grad on, you're going to have on a Norcom shirt too, okay? But Natalie, I want to say also that Marvin Childs is in Atlanta, and he's watching at this time. That's Peggy Britt's son. Marvin is watching at this time. He's in Atlanta as well. And so, but Nat, let me tell you, I love you, girl. I love you so very much. And I'm just so proud of you. And, you know, often we live vicariously through those that we know. And I tell you what, you have really enriched my heart and my soul. And I just look forward to our being able to be more engaged in activities that we can do together. And I can see it taking place. I'm visualizing it, and I'm claiming it at this moment. Okay. I am claiming it at this moment. But so we look forward to you coming back, sharing with us how we can get this one-woman production going on and what we need to do on our end as well. And we're just looking forward to this engagement, because if you do as well as you did for colored women, it was a total success. So thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Natalie, we appreciate you. And you know, we want everybody to follow you on your Facebook page, and tell us again how other places they can find you and follow you, like on YouTube or whatever else you have going on.
Now on YouTube, I have Sports Chat with Nat. Run it all together. Put that S on there. Sports Chat with Nat. I have that YouTube page, and I have my personal YouTube page, Natalie W. Baker, where you can see my stand-up routine and other things on there. And on Facebook, the same, Sports Chat with Nat, and then Natalie W. Baker is my acting personal page. And on Instagram, it's Nat Acts, NATACTS 626 on
Do that again. Do that one more time, Nat.
Nat NAT ACTS S
Okay.
626. Nat Acts 626 on
Okay.
Instagram. Sports Chat with Nat is on Instagram, but I always forget to post on there. But I'm gonna get better.
Okay.
Get better.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you again, and thanks to all the people who were watching today. We appreciate you, and don't forget, you can watch later on our YouTube channel and share that with other people you know. They don't want to miss this show, but very encouraging words and entertaining commentary from our special guest here today, and we appreciate you. And you can also later listen to this on the Slim Nation podcast. So appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. Oh, go
You
ahead.
have something to say, James. Go ahead, Nat.
Listen, I'm gonna say this real quick. Mental illness is real.
Yes, it is.
If you need to talk to somebody, call them. If you need some assistance, there's help out there. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know who needed to hear that, but it's real. It's real. Talk to somebody.
Exactly.
Take care of yourself from head to toe.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, thanks for that. We appreciate that. And Coffee Talk is here for our voice.
Our community.
In our future.
We
Yeah,
salute you, Nat.
We salute you, Nat.
salute you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
you.
much.
Thank you, homie. Appreciate you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Don't
Tell
leave
Renee
yet, Nat.
hello.
I sure will. She's right in next door.
Don't go. Wait a minute.
Take care, everybody.